So amidst all the Aaron Rodgers news yesterday, himself saying he wants to play football next year for the New York Jets, there was some other roster moves that the Green Bay Packers made yesterday that got lost in all of that. So today I wanted to make a quick video kind of recapping everything that happened yesterday for the Green Bay Packers that wasn't Aaron Rodgers. And if you guys are new to this channel and want more Packers news analysis and updates every single day, I do in-depth draft coverage, salary cap updates, free agency updates. It's all right here on this channel. So I'd really appreciate it if you went down and click the subscribe button and also left a like on the video. So first and foremost, we finally got an update on restricted free agent tackle Josh Nyman. The Packers put a second-round restricted free agent tender on offensive lineman Josh Nyman. Per source, it's worth $4.304 million. So this was obviously all to be expected. I assumed they'd put a second-round tender on him, the same tender they used on Allen Lazard last year. So basically what this means is if a team signs him to an offer sheet, then the Packers can either A, match that offer that they tried signing Josh Nyman to, and if they didn't, then that team would have to send Green Bay a second-round draft choice. So I think this is a win-win because Josh Nyman is a great depth guy. I think he could be a starting tackle in the NFL. I mean, we saw all these deals the past few days, tackle signing to other teams for a lot of money. So I think a team, coming into next year, or if the Packers decide to trade Josh Nyman, will end up paying him like a starting tackle. So if a team is really, really desperate for a tackle and wants to sign Josh Nyman to an offer sheet and give Green Bay another second-round draft choice, I wouldn't be that mad at it because I don't know going into next year if the Packers are going to be able to sign Josh Nyman to a long-term deal, whereas another team would probably give him more money. The Packers still have David Bakhtiari. I would assume he's going to be around to stay. They have Zach Tom, who can play right tackle. They'll likely draft a tackle in this draft as well. So it might just kind of work out to where they can't pay Josh Nyman. So if a team wants to give the Packers a second-round draft choice right now, I'd say that's a win. And if nothing happens and he's on the team as a depth tackle or even a starting tackle when need be for $4.3 million this year, I think that's also a win. The Packers also made another re-signing. I don't think too many people are going to be happy about this one, but it was tight end Tyler Davis. He was originally a restricted free agent. They didn't decide to tender him because if they had done that, the lowest one you could do is a right of first refusal tender, which comes in at $2.6 million cap hit. So obviously Tyler Davis, that's way too much for him. So they didn't tender him. They actually just plain outright re-signed him. I'm sure it'll be right near a veteran minimum. And I'm not too mad at this personally. This is not the answer at tight end. I was completely wrong on Tyler Davis last year. I'll eat crow in that. I thought maybe this guy would kind of show something on offense. It was the complete opposite. But he is a pretty solid special teams player. And if the Packers are going to keep their special teams on the rise, keeping these good special teams player on the roster is a good idea. So I'm not exactly mad at this, but again, it's not the answer. The Packers need to address this tight end room. Mercedes Lewis might end up going to New York. Robert Tonyan is still a free agent. I think they need to bring him back and probably draft two tight ends in this draft and maybe even look at a free agent. I think they need to overhaul this incomplete tight end room, and that doesn't include Tyler Davis. The Packers also created a little bit more cap space by restructuring Devondre Campbell's contract. While I have no idea what will happen with Aaron Rodgers, which obviously we do know now, I do know the Packers created $2.628 million in cap space by restructuring linebacker Devondre Campbell's contract. So if we bring up Campbell's contract here, we see in 2023 his cap hit is now down to $5.5 million, just over that. He is signed through the 2026 season, and with this restructure, they also added on one void year in 2027, which pushes out another $657,000. And in the future years, we see in 2024's cap hit will be $14.4 million, then in 2025, $12.5 million, and then the same thing in 2026. So with the Josh Nyman tender, the Devondre Campbell restructure, and the Keyshawn Nixon signing, the Packers have an effective cap space right now just under $16 million. That doesn't include the Tyler Davis deal yet, as we haven't seen what that contract is. I couldn't see it being much more than $1 million. So the Packers have right around $15 million cap space effective. That is including what we expect them to spend on the draft class to potentially, maybe sign a couple free agents or do some extensions with some of their players. We'll see what happens. If you guys want to see a free agent video, I didn't make one previously just because the Packers usually aren't players in the first 3 days in free agency when the tampering begins. They're more so in the run later on in free agency. So if you want to see a video of potential free agents the Packers could still sign, let me know down in the comments and I'll make that video. The Green Bay Packers also made a brand new signing yesterday. They finally brought in a long snapper. Packers have agreed to terms with long snapper Matt Orzech, formerly of the Rams. Orzech wins a ring in LA and heads to Green Bay on a 3-year deal. So I'm hoping this is finally the end of most of the long snap troubles here in Green Bay. I feel like it's been such a problem since, Brett Good hasn't been the long snapper on this team, and this is a 3-year deal here, so obviously they expect him to be here for the long run, at least for the next 3 years. And I believe that was one of the last main things wrong with this special teams. Now there still is some issues, but that was one of the main things in my opinion. That long snapper issue, I feel like hurt the Packers a ton for the past few years, whether it was low snaps on field goals, high snaps on field goals, poor snaps on punts. I feel like it was just always a problem. So hopefully Orzech works out here and we finally have a good long snapper. And then finally, a former Packer move. Jaron Reed was signed by the Seattle Seahawks, so he was a free agent for the Green Bay Packers. We saw them sign him last year to a 1-year deal. I thought he did really well. Was wondering if they're going to bring him back or not, but the Seahawks ended up signing him. Former Packers defensive lineman Jaron Reed is signing a 2-year deal with the Seahawks per source. After 1 season in Green Bay, Reed returns to his original NFL home. So it looks like the Packers are moving forward with their young guys at defensive line with TJ Slayton, Devontae Wyatt, and of course still Kenny Clark. Dean Lowry is an impending free agent. They shouldn't bring him back. I think they should draft someone in this draft. I really like Moro Ojomo out of Texas. I feel like he would fit really well in this defensive line group. So we'll see what they do, if they potentially also sign maybe another veteran free agent now that Jaron Reed is off the market, and then also draft someone in the draft. All right, so those are all the moves that happened yesterday. I feel like they were all hidden by all this Aaron Rodgers stuff, and honestly, I missed some of them. So I just wanted to make a quick update video for all you guys so we know where we are with the Green Bay Packers outside of all this Aaron Rodgers stuff. But that'll about do it for this one. Appreciate everyone watching. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, go Pack Go.